SCP-5741 Marshmellow and Madness. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5741 instances are to be kept in a sealed container in Secure Containment Locker 142 within Biological Research and Containment Site 95. Access is restricted to Level 2 personnel with the Project Lead's authorization, and all personnel should observe Class 1 Biohazard Control. Bi-weekly, personnel in Class 1 Hazmat gear are to open the container and record the number of SCP-5741 instances. Should this number reach a threshold set by the Project Lead, the appropriate number of SCP-5741 instances are to be removed and placed within a biohazard bag for incineration. Description: SCP-5741 are a collection of Peeps brand marshmallow candies. While the outer layer of SCP-5741, consisting of sugar and gelatin, is identical to candies of the same brand, SCP-5741's interior layer consists of flesh, muscle, and connective tissue. Anatomically, SCP-5741 is analogous to human anatomy, with all organ systems being present, and all organs are at a significantly smaller scale. However, SCP-5741 lacks any limbs, which causes instances to move in a ponderous and unpredictable manner. SCP-5741 instances have not shown any hostile behavior during containment, and have been observed to flee from research personnel attempting to interact with them. SCP-5741 is capable of asexual reproduction via producing new tissue on its mediolateral side. Over a period of 3 hours, the new instance will form, with the body forming prior to the head. Once the instance is fully formed, it will separate from the old instance. Lastly, the instance will appear to convulse for a period of 5 seconds. After the 5-second period, the new instance's heartbeat is audible. New instances are produced at a rate of 5 per day. Addenda. Addendum 1. History. On April 4th, 2021, a 911 call was received from a residence in Cincinnati, Ohio. The residents reported that the Peeps candy they had just given their children appeared to have human viscera inside them, and that their daughter had partially consumed one of the candies. A Foundation agent embedded with the Cincinnati Police Department arrived on the scene and confiscated the candies, which were designated SCP-5741, and transported to Site 95. Witnesses were amnesticized, and the call record was deleted. Replacement candies were provided. Addendum 2. Experiment Logs. Experiments in this log were approved and overseen by Dr. Cummins, SCP-5741 Project Lead. Experiment 1. Procedure: 5 SCP-5741 instances were placed onto a table. Junior Researcher Pagani was instructed to communicate with the SCP-5741 instances. Result: SCP-5741 instances did not communicate, and instead moved around irregularly. One instance fell off the table, resulting in the instance suffering several broken bones. Instance appeared to be in distress. Analysis: SCP-5741 can't communicate. However, they can feel pain and move, suggesting a degree of sentience. Experiment 2. Procedure: D-3284 was instructed to eat one of the SCP-5741 instances and record their taste. D-3284 was previously sentenced to death for participation in cannibalistic activities. Result: D-3284 was hesitant to eat the instances, stating that he did not feel comfortable doing so. When reminded that failure to cooperate would result in a release to his former sentence on death row, D-3284 complied and consumed one of the instances. D-3284 began to chew on the instance and immediately regurgitated the half-chewn instance, resulting in blood and viscera spreading across the table. D-3284 appeared in distress and stated that SCP-5741 instance tasted like human flesh, but different, like it's artificial. D-3284 was escorted from the chamber, and the instance's remains were disposed in a biohazard bin and subsequently incinerated. Analysis: SCP-5741 is similar to human biology and is inedible. Confirms the initial report. Experiment 3. Procedure: the damaged instance from Experiment 1 was monitored. After several days, it did not reproduce and appeared in significant distress. The Ethics Committee liaison for Site-95 approved the use of lethal injection to euthanize the instance, as keeping it alive would put it in further distress. The lethal injection was effective. A dissection was later performed by Dr. Lang and Dr. Travers, using microscopes to view the interior of the SCP-5741 instance. Result: all internal organs of the SCP-5741 instance were removed and weighed. Total weight was approximately 113 grams. Additionally, tissue samples were removed and studied. Analysis: samples were consistent with baseline human samples. SCP-5741's bone structure is similar to ours, with the chest, neck, and cranial regions being largely similar. However, the area where legs and arms would be on a human ended with round, bony protrusions. Addendum 3. Incident Log. On May 12, 2021, Security Officer Rajiv Sinagra was guarding SCP-5741's containment. Multiple instances, contained in a glass jar for study, managed to slide the glass jar off the shelf by moving forward against it. Upon hitting the floor, the glass jar broke, allowing the instances to escape. Security Officer Sinagra pressed the containment breach alarm and attempted to stop the SCP-5741 instances. As he went to pick up an instance, 2 more instances embedded shards of glass from the jar into their bodies and attacked Security Officer Sinagra in a rotating motion, creating multiple lacerations on his hand. Sinagra, appearing to be enraged, proceeded to stomp the 2 armed instances, terminating them. The other 3 instances retreated into the opposite corner and appeared to be afraid of Security Officer Sinagra. Security Officer Sinagra pursued the instances, who attempted to flee, but were captured and subsequently dismembered in a violent fashion. As the instances were dismembered, faint vocalizations of distress were heard. 2 minutes after the breach, all escaped instances were terminated. Rapid response teams arrived, and Sinagra was treated for his minor wounds. As per protocol, Sinagra was detained and was interviewed about the breach. Addendum 4. Interview Log. Interviewer: Dr. Cummins. Interviewed: Security Officer Rajiv Sinagra. Subject: interviewees conduct during the SCP-5741 containment breach. Begin Log. Video begins. Sinagra is seated on the left. Dr. Cummins enters the room and sits down, shuffling papers before speaking. Cummins: Good morning, Sinagra. Is your wound healing well? Sinagra: Yeah, the stitches still hurt, but it could be worse. Good to hear. As you know, several SCP-5741 instances breached containment earlier today. You were the guard assigned to SCP-5147's chamber, correct? Yes, I was. Am I in trouble? I just need to clarify a few things about the breach. Even a minor one like this can reveal faults in our thinking and procedures, and you were the willing witness there. Can you tell me about the events leading up to the breach? Yeah, no problem. As you know, we being the security department, usually are assigned to specific objects and guard them until there's a need for reassignment. Apparently, after one of the recent tests, the other guy had requested to transfer. Personally, I don't blame him. Can you elaborate? I mean, did you look at those things? I've seen a lot of freaky shit in my time at the Foundation, but those things take the cake. The way they move, the way they breathe, it's unnatural. And how they can fucking pick up pieces of glass and use them to cut you? I understand. We still know little about SCP-5741. However, CCTV tapes show you violently dismembering them. Why did you do this? They were laughing at me. They were laughing at you? Yeah, the kind of laughter that makes you feel subhuman. That makes you feel like a joke, only it was children laughing. When I started smashing the little pieces of shit, they stopped laughing and started screaming. They wouldn't stop screaming. I made them stop. That made me feel better. I crushed them, I destroyed them, I wiped them out so they didn't hurt me. They might not be able to kill you, but it will learn. They will grow. There will be more of them. They will grow bigger, and they will grow stronger, until one day, they can kill you. And then you will be the one being stopped out of existence. Sinagra, if you continue to be aggressive, this interview will be terminated, and a sedative will be administered. Did you not see what they did to them? What you did to them? Do you think they didn't see or hear? We kept them in a box, but they can hear, and they can feel. They saw what you did to the others, and they want out. Sinagra stops speaking and looks up to the ceiling. Oh God, they can see me. Sinagra abruptly falls unconscious. A mixture of blood, sugar, and corn syrup begins pouring out of his orifices. Guards! Guards! Shit, get a medic in here now! End log. Sinagra is moved to the infirmary, where he subsequently was pronounced dead. An autopsy later revealed that all Sinagra's interior mass was replaced with a mixture of corn syrup, sugar, gelatin, and various other confectionery ingredients. Classification Committee Memorandum. As a result of the interview log, testing with SCP-5741 is suspended. A new behavior has been observed in SCP-5741 instances after the incident, with instances appearing to congeal together in an attempt to form a larger instance. In addition, the rate of production of a new instance is increasing exponentially. New containment procedures are being drafted to address this behavior. Until new containment procedures are in effect, staff are to prevent the creation of a larger instance by all reasonable means. Thank you for listening to SCP-5741. If you enjoyed this SCP, please like and subscribe, and follow the link in the description to the SCP Wiki to vote it out to support it and the SCP Wiki as a whole. Also, if you have any SCPs you'd like for me to do, please leave a comment below, and I'll see what I can do.